All right, what's up guys? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. We've got a very interesting topic in my opinion because I think Nintendo's recent 2022 games and some of the stuff that they've been talking about actually gives us an idea of what they're going to do in the transition to the next gen Switch. So we're going to be going over a list of confirmed games and what that means, in addition to rumors as well, plus a bit more of my own analysis just looking at things here. But before we get into that, please make sure you hit that like button. Also subscribe if you're someone new and hit that notification bell to get my videos first. And once again, I'm sorry for any bad audio or background noises. I'm using a different mic and don't have my normal equipment right at this point. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get right into it and start off with the confirmed games so far. 2022 is looking to be absolutely insane. Now we're having a great end to the second half of 2021 with Metroid Dread coming out and Mario Party coming out pretty soon here. We got No More Heroes that just released. There's obviously Shin Megami Tensei 5. There's Advance Wars. There's like so many cool games coming out, but 2022 is even gearing up to be bigger with games like Project Triangle Strategy, or I should just say Triangle Strategy, getting confirmed for March 4th. Pokemon Legends Arceus, that's confirmed for late January. You also have Kirby and the Forgotten Land confirmed for spring 2022, which is probably going to be a March release or so. You've got Bayonetta 3 confirmed for 2022. You've got The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel confirmed for 2022. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope confirmed for 2022. Metroid Prime 4, that's still in the works. And of course the Nintendo Switch Online, which is taking years to expand at this point, but is adding a tier this late into the life. But it seemingly looks like, based off of everything that we've seen so far and just how Nintendo Switch Online works with the games, that you're going to be able to carry over your account to the next system. And that's where I'm kind of leading with all of this, what they're doing with these moves. I think that Nintendo's trying to set up a transition from 2022, probably 2023 will be when we start hearing about the next gen Switch. You might hear about it late 2022, but 2023 is definitely going to be a time period where we hear about what's going on. We're going to start hearing rumors. Nintendo might have something towards the end of the year announcing what they're going to do or something like that. And it looks like they want to have a smooth transition of multiple games that people can play, of course, for the end of the regular Switch's life, but also backwards compatibility. So people who didn't pick up the Switch, or people who didn't pick up certain games, because everybody doesn't buy everything, obviously, right? I mean, we'd have 90 million copies sold of every single big game if everybody actually bought everything, but that's not the case. But I think that this time there's going to be a much more smooth transition from the previous gen to the next gen, considering the pace of the games, what Nintendo's doing with the online, and how the flow is going at this point, and even looking at some of the rumored games, because this is an important factor here. I mean, we have stuff like a brand new Fire Emblem game that's rumored. We have a new Xenoblade Chronicles game that is rumored. We have a new Donkey Kong game that is rumored. We have a new Mario Kart game that's definitely in development. At some point that's going to come out. I think that's going to be a cross-gen game. We have new rumors of a more in-depth remaster of Metroid Prime that's going to be a larger scale than just taking like Metroid Prime Trilogy and upscaling it to HD and releasing it on the Nintendo Switch. So there is still a flow of rumors and of course confirmed games that are going to be coming out in 2022 and maybe even 2023 to make that transition easier, to make things kind of go from one thing to the next thing. Because I'm telling you, man, Nintendo has somewhat botched most of the transitions from the previous gen to the next gen. Like, I'm looking at it over the course of time, and maybe like the Super Nintendo, that might have been the best one. I know that they did a good job in terms of home consoles, at least. I know they did a good job with the portable systems. That's been pretty good, with the exception of a few systems here and there. But like Game Boy Color, you're looking at stuff that's more of a revision with some exclusive games though. But like DS to 3DS, I think that wasn't too bad, but there were some issues with the pricing and some of the games and everything. So there have been some issues with the transitions beforehand. I think that the GameCube to the Wii was pretty good because you had backwards compatibility. You had the GameCube ports on the top. You could easily play, with the games that you wanted what to do. Plus, you also had some of the other things, in addition to, of course, the Wii games. But there was some issues with being able to use GameCube controllers for Wii games, not having certain compatibility that did frustrate gamers at the beginning of the Wii's life. So I think, all things considered, based off of what Nintendo's doing so far with the Nintendo Switch, and obviously looking at their leadership being far more conservative, in my opinion, when it comes to what they're doing than what Nintendo did in the past, especially in the Wii era, I definitely think that we're going to see a smoother transition to where Nintendo kind of rolls out a lot of the stuff they already have and build on top of that. And that's why I think that Nintendo's just confirming these games, continuing to have these games, because it's just going to be a smooth transition. You're going to have the backwards compatibility, and then they're going to have a bunch of games that they're going to do for the next gen. I think there's going to be the next Mario, for example. I think they're going to be able to take some of these games and have some updates to them, or have some upgrades to where if you play it on the next gen Switch, you get better frame rates or better resolution, or what they're doing there. I think that Nintendo kind of has a plan this time around because of who they have with the leadership and because of the success of what they've already done. Now, don't get me wrong, I still feel that there might be some type of quirky little thing or something to where they make it kind of Nintendo-fied, and of course it's never going to be perfect. I don't think any system has a perfect transition from one gen to the next gen when it comes to everything with games, the system features, OS, everything. Like, nobody ever has a perfect one. There's some that are better than others, but nobody ever has anything perfect. So I'm not anticipating that. What I'm just saying, based off of what we're seeing here with the Nintendo Switch Online, 4 years later, 3-4 years later, after they expanded with Super Nintendo, now that all of a sudden they're talking about this as if this was 3 years ago. That tells me that this is going to be a transition. That tells me that with all these games being confirmed, they're not worried about potentially losing an audience or anything, because there will be backwards compatibility. People will be able to play their older games or pop that cartridge in or download it on the store. I think Nintendo's going to build on top of that. So I think that's what the rumors say with some of these new games, but also just the amount of games, the force of games that are coming out. I don't think Nintendo is worried about the transition as much as they've been worried before. Now, of course, there's still going to be some things. Obviously, I still feel that, when you talk about a next gen system, when you talk about going from one thing to another, it's always difficult. It's always difficult when it comes to how to engineer the system, what you're going to do, how it's going to work, the heat draw, how much watts does it use? It's all different types of stuff, like the difficult, brainiac type of things when it comes to engineering a system and have it work and not have it blow up like an Xbox 360 or yellow light of death, or have different types of issues that we've seen systems have over the years when it comes to it in terms of durability and all of that. So that's obviously still going to be a challenge for Nintendo and any other system out there. But I just feel that with all these different things that I discussed here, in addition to Nintendo, especially with the Nintendo Switch Online, that just shows me that, yeah, like, they're definitely going to be a smoother transition, and it kind of gives us some ideas of what Nintendo's probably going to do with next gen. I'm thinking, like I said, 2023 would be when I think we actually start hearing about something. We start getting some more of those rumors. We start getting Nintendo kind of saying, okay, maybe they hint about the next gen or something like that. So 2023 would be my guess. I think that even 2022 late, we might hear some things in terms of rumors and stuff like that. But I think 2023 definitely looks to be it. I know that last year in 2020, Nintendo did state that they're about halfway through, or a little over halfway through, the Nintendo Switch's life. So if you look at it that way, halfway through in 2020, 2023 would be 3 years later, so technically that would complete the lifespan. So that would be a 2017 to 2023. I mean, that'd be pretty good when it comes to Nintendo standards overall. I know that the generations have been getting a bit longer here and there, compared to like what we had with the GameCube or the N64, stuff like that. But I do feel that that is a sufficient life, but I feel that the life will still go on. I think that the Nintendo Switch Lite and being able to just play that vast library of games, in terms of Nintendo setting up what they've done for 2022, I think that's the biggest key here, and that's what's going to make things a lot more easier for those who maybe can't get the system right away, or those who want to get the system and play stuff that they did miss. And you're seeing that with the Xbox Series X and Series S, and you're seeing that with the PlayStation 5 at this point. A lot of people are just picking up those systems and playing the games that came out before, what they missed with the backwards compatibility, or whatever it is, and that's worked out pretty well for them as well. So I do think that's what we're going to see going forward with Nintendo here, as they finally have a system that has a good enough gimmick, that has a system that has a good enough hook to where they can sell that concept over and over. Microsoft has their continued base when it comes to the Windows platform, when it comes to backwards compatibility, being able to transfer over the achievements, everything's smooth. PlayStation has their first party games, those type of games that really Sony can make, you know, when it comes down to it. Nintendo has their first party games, but the problem that Nintendo's had when it comes to next generation systems, that they've always had some type of crazy different thing that they've done. It's always something different. Nothing ever carries over. There's always some issues here and there, or you can't use certain controllers, or there's something weird. You have to use the gamepad. You can't use a pro controller. You have to use two controllers, just some type of weird stuff. And I think that this time, with what the Switch does, it'll be much more smoother than what we've seen before. It'll be like a DS to 3DS when it comes to compatibility and features wise. I think it'll be something similar to that, considering that it's coming off of a highly successful system, and they don't want to change up the formula too much when it comes to things, because then you could create more problems than what you need to even do. So I think that's what we're going to see, but we're going to have to wait on that for right now. And I'm excited for all the different games that are coming here. I mean, this is nuts when it comes to the exclusives that are coming out at the end of this year and also with 2022. I mean, there's already confirmed a number of big games, and there's even going to be more. Like, it's not going to stop there. There's definitely even going to be more in 2022 and beyond. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to seeing what games maybe get the cross-gen treatment too. I think that could be a big thing for the next-gen Nintendo Switch as well. So what are your thoughts when it comes to Nintendo and their potential plans for the end of the Switch's life and the next gen? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Make sure you check out the link in the description, become a channel member for some cool perks, rewards, benefits, and Discord access. Hit that like button if you didn't already do so, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you for the next one. Peace.